Hi, everyone. Let's take a look at number 7. 7a, sketch the graph of a periodic function f of x with a maximum value of 7, a minimum value of -1, and a period of 5. Step number 1, recognize there are many ways of graphing this. In fact, there are infinite many solutions. So again, if you write down the given, there's a maximum value of 7. There's a minimum value of -1, and the period is going to be 5. So the first thing you want to think about is the amplitude of this function. Don't forget, amplitude has to be positive, and the formula for the amplitude of any periodic function is going to be the maximum value minus the minimum value divided by 2. So in this case, we're looking at 7 minus -1 divided by 2. Which means, and again, I'm going to write down A for amplitude. This is going to be 7 plus 1, which is 8. 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. So recognize that the amplitude is going to be 4. Now, the next step is to find the equation of axis. And again, to find this, you basically have to take, and again, this could be y equal to, this could be c equal to, depending on the notation, but you take the maximum value plus the minimum value divided by 2. So again, in this example, we're looking at 7 plus -1 divided by 2. 7 minus 1 is going to be 6. 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. So now we're ready to sketch one possible graph. So let's draw it right here. Let's use a different color to give you the scale. Again, recognize there are infinite many cases. There are infinite many cases. Now, I can draw a scale. Let's say this is going to be 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's going to be -1. 4 is going to be there. So let's take a look. Actually, instead of 4, I should write down 3. Going to be there. And now the other scale I need to think about is the period, which is going to be 5. I can divide this into 4 parts. So 5 divided by 2, that's going to be 2.5. 2.5 divided by 2, that's going to be 1.25. And 2.5 plus 1.25 is going to be 3.75. So again, one more time, there are infinite many ways to graph this. So I'm thinking about the sine function. I'm going to start at this location, which is going to be 0, 3. I'm going to stop here, which is going to be 5, 3. If I grab the point in the middle, the midpoint between 0 and 5 is going to be 2.5. Again, that's going to be 3. If I think about the first maximum, it's going to be at 1.25 and 7. If I think about the minimum, it's going to be a 3.75 and -1. And again, I can draw the graph that looks, roughly speaking, something like that. So let's label this as f of x. So again, in the first part, sketch the graph of a periodic function, f of x. Done. Part B, select a value a for x and determine f of a. So again, just like part A, there are infinite many cases because it depends on your choice of a. So I could say, so again, let's write down a for this, part A, this is part B. So if I let a equal to, for example, 1.25, then f of a would equal to, and I should write it down here, f of a equals to f of 1.25, and in this case, it's going to be a 7. Again, I'm looking at this point. Let's highlight what I'm referring to. Let's go back to the highlighter, 1 second. This is the point right there, 1.25 and 7, because I selected A to be 1.25. All right, we are making progress. And in part C, determine 2 other values B and C such that f of A equals to f of B equals to f of C. And again, there are infinite many cases. So I need to figure out what is f of A equal to f of B, which equals to f of C. So again, determine two other values. And it's not only two other values, there are infinite many values. So if I go back to the graph, look at the way I think about this. I can draw this again and again and again and again indefinitely. So the best way to think about this is if I'm saying f of 1.25 equals to 7, what I can do is take a full period. And again, remember, the period is going to be 5. So b is going to be basically a plus the full period. And that's going to be 1.25 plus 5, which is going to be 6.25. Now, if I think about C, C could be B plus another full period, or I can think of A plus 5, which is A plus 2 times the period. That's fine. But either way, it's going to be 6.25 plus 5. So C is going to be 11.25. And again, the reason why this is true is because if you think about f of A, which is 1.25, and you compare it with f of B, which is f of 6.25, and you compare this with f of C, which is f of 11.25, they're all equal to 7. Again, how do we know this? You go back to the graph, and if you draw this next maximum, this point right here, that's going to be f of B, right? So again, this is B, f of B. This next point, this is going to be C, f of C. And again, be mindful, there are infinite many cases, and what I'm illustrating in this video is one possible solution. If you find this video meaningful, it's adding value to your math life, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. I hope this makes sense.